So welcome back to Podcast the Hero. This is a very special Podcast the Hero. We have an in-studio guest.
Wow.
This is fucked up.
Wow.
It's real fucked
First
to have
time?
a person in here. I think it is.
The only other time was you and Rody at Rody's place.
And then, Tarzan has been here, but we didn't record anything for the pod.
He's not as special as me.
So this is like first time in-studio guest. In the frig room. I want to call it the frig room. The frig cave. What should we call it?
I think
a big frig in there, and I think people it should have a name.
the Gurf room.
The Gurf room.
The Gurf room.
This episode is brought to you by Cornbot. As always, Cornbot does things to corn that you can't show on the internet. It's like really disgusting.
We can show it now.
No.
You got Cobb?
Well, no, I don't. Like the things that Cornbot does to a corn cob.
You should see what my body does to a corn cob. I had corn last night on the cob, so we'll have evidence soon.
We'll find out tomorrow. This episode is also brought to you by Bob, Josh Miller, in Steven Exposure, Progtoff, Canberra is better than Canada, Julia, Red FX, the Fat Brown Kid, Foolish Bale, fuck you, Rody. I'm done. This is my 2 weeks notice. I'm leaving the podcast. Eat shit and go fuck yourself.
I fucking love that.
Brett Boss Blackwood. Yes, I be a Newfoundlander by. Spickoth. Yo, absolutely the best podcast. A work in progress. Fuck it. I'm going to read that guy's name. Sebastodon. The rat that lives inside Fritzy's butthole. I swallow cum. Source the odd as a result of a spray fart. Come to New Brunswick.
What the fuck are these names? I love it.
Rob the Anti-Human, Peggy Thrill, Green Street, and High Tops is canceled for not liking Weird Al. That's it. Now the list of Patreons I want to kiss. Phi, or Fee, AE Common Thread, the Pink Dink, who took a drink from the sink. Zane, Rody loves my dink. I'd like to be Fritzy's butthole rat when I grows up. Deconomus, before we go on, I think Mushy left the Patreon. Don't see him on here anymore, and this was his spot.
Mushy, get your shit together.
Zach, the Final Dan, KH Pandas, Cornman, Jeffrey, Mason, TBJ, Yuri, Fruit, Ashwin, and High Tops. Fuck, that's a lot of patrons.
You know what's really depressing?
Huh?
My name's not on there.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I'm broke.
It's all right.
It's
okay. We don't expect anybody.
I'm gonna have to like prorate like 6 months worth of subscriptions.
You're gonna have to whore yourself.
I know. Sell
to
my
earn
body.
a little bit of extra cash.
We are in Michigan after all. I feel like it's I could do that right here.
Whore yourself?
Yeah,
It's
is that legal here?
There's not like not that far from here. There's a nice strip of Michigan Avenue where it's just hookers galore.
Okay,
so
what's the address?
It's just Michigan Avenue.
Just like, put that on my phone real quick.
Yeah, you have to go to
set up
them.
my directions.
You have to go to them.
I will be them.
So we have Musky, the infamous Musky.
That's me.
In the studio. Musky, why are you here?
Baseball.
Why?
Baseball.
What's baseball?
Love baseball.
Baseball is a sport?
It's a sport where there's a ball called a base.
The ball is called a base.
It's a base. Okay. It's a ball.
And there's 4 of them. There's 4 balls then.
No, not anymore.
Oh, and there's not?
There's like 400 per game.
Okay, good.
And they hit it with a stick.
And
everyone cheers. It's great.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love it. It's America's pastime.
Mm-hmm. You're Canadian.
I'm not American, though.
You're Canadian.
It's Canada's pastime in my mind.
You drove all the way
4.5 hours
to Detroit to go see a baseball game.
Yes.
With me.
Yep.
In Detroit.
And it was well worth it.
Awesome.
It was well worth it.
Yeah.
I had a coney dog.
Yeah, you did.
So not only will that corn be evidence tomorrow.
Yeah.
I feel like the coney dog might show up too.
Yeah, it will. Unfortunately, they ran out of onions.
No onions, unfortunately, but
chili, mustard, It was National Coney Island, which is very famous in Detroit. So you did that. Your team won.
Let's go Yankees.
You were very excited about it.
I was very excited. Aaron Judge hit a big ding-dong center field.
Yep.
It was beautiful.
My team lost. We didn't even score a single run.
Dog shit.
Not one single run.
Dog shit.
We had 5 hits.
5 hits, same amount as Yankees.
Yep. But we got 0 runs, and the Yankees got 3.
Yeah. It was a good game, and there was some interesting plays.
There was.
Anthony Volpe doesn't know how to catch a ball.
Yeah, that was very fun. We had a lot of fun at Anthony Volpe's expense because he dropped a ball, and everybody was so excited. And I said, "Don't worry about it. We'll blow it."
You're gonna blow it. I knew it. I was like, "This whole room's gonna be deflated."
Yep.
Not like it's a room; it's a whole stadium. Yep. But yeah, it was definitely known. But despite me being a Yankees fan, I'm not representing the Yankees right now.
You're repping a Tigers hat.
I'm repping a Tigers hat.
He bought himself a fucking Tigers hat.
And it's sick. It's got, it's a little America right here. Got to represent America. But
I got a Tigers hat too. This is new ball cap, new Tigers cap. I have a Tigers hat, but I got a new one because I thought this one looked pretty sick.
Yep.
Now you are famous within the protest here.
We're gonna go right into this already.
Yeah. Well, we're not even going to talk about
okay.
what happened or whatever. Like everybody knows.
Everybody knows who Musky is.
Everybody knows who Musky is and what Musky did and all the horrible things.
What did Musky do?
But I guess what I wanted to know is how upset does it make you when we talk about it all the time incessantly?
I think it's fucking hilarious.
You do?
Yeah.
You don't get mad?
No.
Because sometimes I feel bad. Like I'm like, ugh.
I'm very good at being the butt end of a joke.
Okay.
I love it.
Okay.
I love the attention. I'm an attention whore.
Okay, so. Good. I won't feel bad. Like, so Jenny's nephew once 10 years ago was shaking a bottle of homemade salad dressing.
As you do.
And the lid wasn't on tight. And it came off.
Yep.
And it got salad dressing everywhere, all the way up on the ceiling.
Mm-hmm. And
every single meal that we've had with that kid, he's now like 30. Right, he's
no
like
longer
a full adult.
Everything.
Every single meal we have with him, if there's salad, it's like, well, be careful with that dressing, Josh.
Yeah,
you don't want it to get on the ceiling.
It's something you'll never escape.
Never
escape. Just like me not.
Yeah, you'll never escape it. But
I'll never escape it.
It's okay. I purposefully stand at the back of the room with my arms crossed.
I tend to do that, but
because because I'm very scared to go up to the front and then have somebody put a microphone in my face and go, I don't know any of the words to any of these songs.
The problem is I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I didn't think that I would have a mic put in my face. It caught me off guard. So like, I don't know. I think about it now.
It's Rody's fault, really.
It's 100% Rody's fault.
Yeah, fuck
It's
Rody.
not my fault.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Rody.
Yeah.
You're not even here tonight.
Yeah, I know. Where is he?
I don't know, probably doing nothing important at all.
I think they're somewhere in the Midwest.
So what city are they in right now?
Chicago?
4 hours down the road.
And I think they're in Cleveland tomorrow.
Maybe I'll meet them there.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, wow.
We'll stop in Cleveland tomorrow and go see where Rody lost his voice.
Yeah, I should tell him to hit me at Cleveland. Yeah, because I'm on my way to Philly tomorrow.
Yeah, so what are you doing in Philadelphia?
Baseball.
More baseball? Why?
Wow. I don't know. I made it a bucket list for myself.
Yeah.
That I want to visit every single stadium in the MLB.
All
go to
of
a game.
There's
every single
32
one. 30.
Of those.
32? 30.
I think 32.
Is it NFL that's 30?
I think there's 16 teams.
There's a lot. There's a lot, and I will be knocking out 2 this weekend.
How many of those stadiums are in Canada?
1.
Just the one, huh?
Toronto.
Canada. So why is Canada even involved in Major League Baseball?
You gotta let your little brother play, video games with you sometimes.
It just seems odd. Like why?
You're playing video games and your little brother starts crying and your mom says, let him play with you. So you give him the unplugged controller. The Rogers Center's the unplugged controller.
Yeah, they basically said, well, we could build a really cool stadium. The roof will open and close.
That's the coolest part about it. But like, even going to Comerica tonight, like just the massive, like the vibe difference and like the beauty of it, it's like 10 times better than Rogers Center. Rogers Center, there's nothing too special about it.
Eat a dick, Sky Dome.
If it was still called the Sky Dome, my bias would change a little bit.
I will never not be the Sky Dome to me.
There's nothing too special about it other than the fact that there's a retractable dome.
Yeah.
Which
it was like the first one. Though.
It was the first one, but
it was special.
I think
Everybody was
Houston
like,
has one, I think, now.
Everybody has them now. Seattle has one.
Seattle has a dome?
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll visit there one
roof. Day. It's open.
Mm.
Safeco is like open, but then it has a roof that retracts.
Right.
So
that's the same thing as Houston.
They can play in the rain. But it's not like Texas? A dome, like...
It's not a dome.
Where it's, like, completely enclosed.
No. It's not like a Minnesota Humphrey...
like the Metrodome, the Hubert Humphrey Metrodome.
Metrodome.
Which doesn't exist.
I wish it did. I think... Okay, so we talk about how Rogers Center is terrible. I'm sure the Metrodome is not special.
Dog shit.
Growing up playing video games, specifically Ken Griffey Jr. Slugfest, I would always pick the Metrodome because of the garbage bag outfield.
Yeah.
Fucking love that shit.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, the Metrodome was pretty garbage. I saw a game in the Kingdome once in Seattle before they got Safeco.
Before they got Safeco.
And that was, that stadium, it was like going to a basketball game. Like the way it sounded and everything inside, it like didn't feel like a baseball game. It felt like a basketball game, like because you were just like inside.
I think that's a big problem. Actually, that sounds a lot better though. Because I feel like stadium sounds are not always the best.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's sports difference rather than music.
Comerica has really, like in Detroit, the baseball stadium has really embraced like all the LED lighting stuff.
Yep.
Has really embraced like music in between pitches, stuff like that. Like the stadium is there's a lot noisier than it used to be.
It was a great vibe tonight too. I mean, it was packed. It was packed.
Packed it in for the
Yankees. The Yankees, of course. Yeah. I mean, even then when I go to the Rogers Center for Blue Jays games, it's always against the Yankees, and those games are always packed. If you watch a game against Detroit, probably there's nothing.
Yeah,
there's nobody there.
Nobody cares. I miss Detroit being before they had like all the divisions, when it was like the East and the West, right?
Right.
And Detroit and Toronto were both in the East, and there was a really good rivalry between Detroit and Toronto, and there would be a lot of people from Toronto would come down to games at Tiger Stadium, and a lot of people from Detroit would go to games in Toronto. We had a nice little rivalry going, and now Toronto's in the American League East, Detroit's in the Central, and so there's that rivalry is gone now.
I honestly, I kind of wish they went back to like inter-league play. Like they should just not have it. They should have the National League and the American League play their own schedule. The only time you play each other is the World Series. The fact that I don't remember what I was watching. I don't think I was watching anything. I was playing MLB The Show.
Yeah.
And I think I was doing Ken Griffey Jr.'s like storyline. And they were talking about it was Derek Jeter, Derek Jeter's storyline and how they ended up playing the Braves. But they had never seen the Braves before. Like the fact that there's like this insane team in Atlanta that you've never got to face against, I think that would add more excitement to the game.
I agree. More
excitement, and they need to bring back the All-Star game meaning something.
Yeah.
Because the winner of the All-Star game, they used to get home field advantage in the World Series.
Yeah.
I don't think they do that anymore.
No. Well, and they didn't before. It used to be a nothing game.
I think it needs to have meaning.
They tried to like give it some meaning. And then I think it went away again. And baseball is a very different sport than when I used to play it. But I'm also a million years old.
Yeah, you're old as fuck.
I'm an ancient.
You could be my dad.
I could.
Isn't that weird that we're hanging out and you could be my dad?
But see, once you get to be a certain age, all adults are adults.
That's true.
It doesn't matter.
That's true.
Right? I mean, look, we don't
Fritz is my friend.
We don't look that much different. Like
I look like your son.
You look like my son.
I look like your son.
I'm so fucking old. You have not seen protests in the current tour.
No, I'll be seeing them October in Toronto.
I will be seeing them in October in Toronto.
Wow, we're gonna hang out?
No, well, I figure you and I can't be in the same place. We've already done that once this year, so you have to not go.
We've done it multiple times this year.
No, you can't.
We saw Protest the Hero together like 2 months ago.
No, we didn't. So you haven't seen them yet.
No.
You know the set list?
I'm assuming they're gonna play like a little bit of Fortress, a little bit of Kazaya, a little bit of what's the other album? Scurrilous, a little bit of Palimpsest, and then maybe finish with Skies.
Maybe.
Something like that.
It's all Volition.
Why?
I think they forgot about it and then decided to relearn it.
Right. They forgot about it. You know what? They did forget about it because wasn't the 10th year anniversary supposed to be last year?
Yes.
So they did forget.
Yeah, this is Volition XI.
This is Volition XI. Volition 11.
Yep.
So there shouldn't be any Volition X merch.
No.
Okay. Making sure.
I don't think there is any Volition X merch, is there?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
There's a poster.
Call Rody right now.
I think they're on stage. Yeah.
11:30?
10:30 Central Time?
Oh, right.
Yeah. They're in the middle of performing, I think.
Wow. They're all sweaty.
They're all gross.
Stinky.
Did you catch Rody wearing overalls?
I did see a post of that.
Yeah.
I don't remember if I saw it. Someone posted in the Discord, or I must have saw it. It was probably on Instagram.
It was on his Instagram.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, disgusting.
I like it.
I didn't like it at all.
I like it.
And the reason I didn't like it...
He's like a country boy.
I couldn't see his knees.
You don't need to see his knees.
I have a real hard time with that. I don't think I've ever seen him not in shorts. He was wearing a pair of jeans once.
I don't know. I don't know if I've ever paid attention to that, to be honest.
To look at his legs. He's got such
look at mine.
Muscular thighs.
So do I. Well, not thighs, but I got muscular calves.
I do too. I have really big calves.
I got to carry my weight around all the time, you know?
Are we doing a foot thing? Oh!
I don't think I could reach my foot up that. No, God, there's no shot.
So old.
There's no shot. I just have zero flexibility.
So, are you going to go to the London show?
That's on the Friday, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the day after, or is it 2 days after?
The day after.
Hopefully no one from work is
watching this.
Maybe I'll call in sick.
Are you... Are they doing an Ottawa show too? Or Montreal?
If they are, I'm unfortunately not going to go.
You can't go. You're not allowed in Quebec, right?
No, they hate me there.
I thought that was a thing.
Yeah, they hate me there.
People aren't allowed to go to Quebec. They don't like anybody from Ontario.
Well, I'm French. My whole family's from Quebec.
Why?
When a mother and
no, I don't want
father
to. I don't want to know.
Love each other very much.
No, I don't want to know about that.
They make cheese curds.
They make cheese curds. Cheese curds are good. I do want to go to Montreal.
It's nice. I've been to Montreal once.
I want to eat that meat.
I went to Montreal once for a Habs game. Habs played the Sharks, and I didn't have poutine. I didn't go sightseeing. I didn't have any French food. I went to a bar and had fish and chips and a Guinness, went to bed and drove home.
Wow.
The next morning. Kind of regret that. Kind of regret not spending more time in Montreal, but it was like kind of a last minute. My buddy and my brother and I, we got tickets to go to the game, paid $60 for a hotel for the three of us.
Yeah, smart.
Went there, went to the game, went to the bar, went to bed, went home.
What's the experience like at a Habs game?
I didn't really get to communicate much with people.
Because they can't speak English.
I remember I dropped my phone once, and I tried getting a kid's attention in the front seat in front of me.
Yeah.
Had no fucking clue what I was saying.
You're like, hey. And he was like,
and I basically just started pointing down, and eventually he stuck his little hand in the crevice because my hand wasn't going to fit in there, and he got it from me. And I was like, thank you. And he just said nothing and turned around.
Yeah. And
then there was a guy sitting next to me, and I tried to kind of have a conversation, and he didn't speak much English. And I was like, damn, I thought this was Montreal.
Are you younger than the band Protest the Hero's existence?
Protest the Hero, I think, formed in 90s. Well,
first stuff really came out like
Happy Go Lucky came out in like 2000.
2000,
yeah.
And then
the 2002 was like, but
02.
They formed as Happy Go Lucky in what?
Like 90.
They were like
98,
14, 15.
Yeah.
So they might predate me by like a year or so. If
You're
that's the case.
Younger than the band.
I was born in 1998.
So you were born the year I graduated from high school.
Yeah, you're old.
I'm old.
You're old.
How did such a young person discover Protest the Hero?
A friend who was born in 1989, so who was around and a teenager. Good friend Andrew, shout out to him. He introduced me to, and my former guitar player as well in Other Wives. Dropping that name real quick.
You're not even in that band.
I don't think that band exists anymore. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that.
We should start a band.
I keep telling my brother, I'm like, let's start a hardcore band.
You should start a hardcore band.
Yeah, I need to get back into music. Yeah. But Yeah, my former guitar player and our friend Andrew, who's much older, they kind of introduced me to Protest the Hero a little bit. I didn't know them much, but they showed me like Thrice, Protest the Hero, Coding Cambria, all those kinds of bands. And I was at work the one day and I saw there was a tour for Coding Cambria and Protest the Hero. I was like, oh, that'd be cool. So I messaged my guitar player. I was like, hey, you want to go to this show? And he was like, sure. I didn't know Coheed or Protest really. I know their sound, but I didn't know their music. Yeah. And so we went to the show in Toronto at Rebel. This was 2018. So fairly new fan. Mm-hmm. And I saw Protest the Hero and it fucking blew me away. So I fell in love with Protest and their sound at that point. And I was never really into like progressive music. I was very radio rock shit. I think I've talked about this on the podcast before, but I've actually talked about this whole scenario before.
You have?
I think so.
I don't know.
I
don't remember.
Anyways, yeah. So that's how I kind of found Protest the Hero. And then I like them a lot.
How did you find Rody on Twitch?
It was the day From the Sky got released. So it was during COVID. Mm-hmm. I had nothing better to do. From the Sky came out. And I think I went on his Twitter just to see what he was saying about it. And he said he was streaming on Twitch. And I'm like, oh shit, he's got Twitch. So I reminded myself to check out the stream at like 8 o'clock. And when I went onto his stream, I saw he had a Discord as well. And I joined it and ruined your guys' lives since then.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't there.
You weren't there. I'm before Fritzy.
Yeah, you are before me on Twitch, before me on Discord. But you were one of the first people. Like there's a lot of people.
I'm far from one of the first people.
But you were one of the first people that like I interacted with.
Right.
There are a lot of people on Discord.
Tons.
There are substantially fewer who are active in the Discord all the time. Mm-hmm. And you are one of those people who's very active in the Discord. And when I joined the Discord, I noticed that there were a lot of voice chat things going on. Like people were getting together in the voice chat. And I was very nervous to join the voice chat. And like, I didn't know what was happening.
I feel like most people are nervous when they join. They don't say a word. And then like everyone's like, yo, you gonna talk? And then it's like, let's be friends. Come on, like let's hang out. And people quickly like get right into it. It's cool.
And everybody was so welcoming and like that. Like it was like I was talking to Jenny, my wife, about it, and we were talking, and she's like, I think you found your people.
Yeah.
That's 100% true.
Yeah, that's how I felt.
Like
100%.
I completely found my people. I have so many friends that I met through the Discord that are now friends in real life that are hanging out in my house.
Yep.
Like that we've planned trips for non-protest things to hang out together.
First time we met was not protest related. And we had a bunch of people come out too.
Tons of people. Was sick. It was awesome. So I guess this is more a shill just for the Discord is like, get in the Discord and come hang out with us and play.
I was in there Saturday night playing GeoGuessr.
It was awesome.
You guys can come play GeoGuessr with me. I don't know. That's my thing. I feel like when I have nothing to do, I'm like, I'm going to play GeoGuessr. I don't care if you guys want to watch it or not. I'm playing GeoGuessr.
I'm always down when you're playing GeoGuessr. I love it. I fucking love it so much. Protest is working on new music. We know this.
We've known it for a while. I feel like.
Yeah.
When the fuck are we going to find out more about that?
Or hear some of it?
Yeah. What's going on with that?
What is it? What do you think it's going to be like? Do you think it's going to be...
I think it's going to be like Protest.
But do you think it's going to be like the next iteration of Palimpsest kind of? Or do you think Luke in his weird like hobbit cave that he lives in with Cam as they're writing this stuff are like doing something fucking weird and different?
Well, it depends on, I feel like a lot of bands, it depends on if they kind of follow the routine of most bands. Mm-hmm. I feel like a lot of bands will evolve into a new sound and then they'll kind of stick with that sound for a bit until they evolve into something else. If that was the case, then Protest, like this new material should be Palimpsest Part 2.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's no album that Protest has released has been like the same, if that makes sense. So I feel like if it can go one way or the other.
Yeah.
Like the traditional route would be it's gonna sound like Palimpsest. Protest, we're not gonna know.
Yeah,
we won't know until it comes out. We won't know until it comes out.
Scary?
And the fact that like we have zero information,
right? Like literally nothing.
And we've known that they've been writing material for how long now?
Months and months.
Longer than that.
Yeah.
I feel like we've known for like over a year at least.
Like there were pictures on the internet of
Yeah.
Cam and Luke working together in the studio.
Yeah, and we know nothing.
Nada.
Nothing.
I know Rody. I do know Rody has had like some sessions to work on material for this record.
Yeah.
But I have no idea what the lyrics are going to be like. No idea what it's going to sound like. I
think they should just go like super primitive.
You do?
And like bare bones strip everything down.
I think it should just be jazz.
Just acoustic.
I think it should just be jazz.
I think there should be like no guitars.
No guitars.
Just acoustic guitars.
Just all banjo riffs.
No drums.
No drums.
Hank can clap his hands. And Rody can sing with his operatic, beautiful voice.
Yeah.
And it should just be like bedtime lullabies.
You think bedtime lullabies?
I would listen to it a lot.
I would.
I'm not gonna lie. I spent a lot of my life falling asleep to mellow music. So
let's be honest. Whatever it is, we're gonna listen.
100%.
Right?
And I'll buy the vinyls and I will buy the merch and I will go see if they have a tour for it. I will go see them. And if I hate it, I will still love it.
Right?
I don't think I can hate.
I don't think I could hate it.
I don't think I could hate anything Protest.
I don't think I could hate.
There's a lot of bands I love where there's some shit I hate by them. There's not a single thing Protest has done that I do not like.
Yeah.
And
I think that's the most reassuring thing, right?
It's like they've never released anything that I did not like.
They're not gonna put something out that's just like, oh, what is this?
Like even
it's
with
not
Scurrilous,
gonna be a rap album.
No, and even with Scurrilous, like there was a lot of kind of negative reception to that, but I fucking love Scurrilous.
Scurrilous is so good.
I fucking love Scurrilous. It's the opposite of disappointing in my opinion.
Yeah, the reason people are down on Scurrilous or were down on Scurrilous was just because they wanted it to be Fortress.
Right. And they couldn't get Fortress.
And they didn't want to make Fortress again.
Right. And I think as well as like Fortress it's an incredible album. Mm-hmm. So it's really difficult to come back, not come back from that, but like to add on to that. It's very difficult. So expectations are super high.
Yeah.
So people might be disappointed. But like if you take that away, if you set like your expectations, like throw out the fact that it's just as good as Fortress in my opinion. It's it's its own album.
If Fortress never existed, if people had never heard Fortress, people would love Scurrilous.
Love Scurrilous, and that's the thing is, like I said, people have this expectation of it being Fortress, and it's not Fortress. It's its own thing, and that's why I think you can't really judge it. Based on what they sounded previous, because it's a different
stuff on there.
That's so good.
I think the other thing is like Fortress has some sort of metalcore aspects to it, right?
Yeah.
And I think there are a lot of metalcore people that are like really into metalcore that aren't necessarily into prog, that were like, well, we want more of the metalcore stuff, and Scurrilous is much more prog.
Yeah.
And so like they were like, oh, but Protest isn't a metalcore band.
I was just before listening to Protest, I was kind of like I listened to metalcore and that was my thing, and Protest kind of pulled me into prog.
Yeah.
So the fact that Scurrilous is like, we want metalcore, I'm like, well, that shit made me enjoy Protest even more.
Right. Yeah.
Because it gives you that full experience, right? Without being not to say that Fortress is just slamming your face with metalcore shit.
Right. Right.
The fact that like you get to experience more of a sound from Protest on Scurrilous, that's separate from those other the Kazaya and Fortress. So
and it also like Fortress hit at the time when metalcore was like
at the peak,
right?
That's the golden years for that kind of music,
right? So like it makes sense that like it would end up with that. It's sort of like saying like, oh, Alice in Chains is a grunge band because Alice in Chains was from. They're not.
I think we had this conversation before
the other day. And it is not. Alice in Chains is not a grunge band, but like. That sort of thing. Like they hit right when grunge was big. They were from Seattle. So like they fit in there. But like if you listen to it, it doesn't fit with what grunge is doing.
I think it's before my era, so I just grouped them all together.
But
they're
like,
all grunge to me.
so grunge really came out of like post-punk,
Right?
and Alice in Chains definitely came out of like post-hair.
Yeah,
they came from
that makes
very
sense.
different places.
They still have a similar sound and a similar style, so like it's you can't really blame someone for calling them grunge. Because like for me, I would call them grunge, but I'm also kind of a fucking idiot. So
I'm also like a real fucking dick about like what genres bands are and stuff. Like we talk about emo. I'm like, that's not emo. And everybody's like, of course it's emo. I'm like, it's not emo. It doesn't know. You know,
I'm trying to think of like
such a huge asshole.
My dad and I were talking about something not too long ago about classic rock. He brought up a band. It's like a band from like the 90s or some shit. And I'm like, that's basically classic rock. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, it's classic rock.
Like, if you listen to classic rock on the radio today, like, you're going to hear Appetite for Destruction.
Yeah.
That's not classic rock.
That's what's hilarious.
Classic rock is rock and roll from the friggin' 70s.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like,
I don't give a shit. I'll count like 90s, like Appetite for Destruction, 100% in my opinion. That's classic rock to me. Because that's the shit like that was old when I was born.
Yeah. Stop being so fucking young.
I can't help it.
Hey, young people out there, stop it.
Don't stop it.
Stop being young.
Stay young.
Stop being young. Hurry up and be 40. Just like everybody else.
Everyone wants to grow up as a kid.
Yeah.
I fucking wish I didn't.
I haven't.
Well, I'm mentally I didn't grow up at all.
I'm old as shit. I'm 26.
I mentally didn't grow up, but like having the responsibilities of an adult
sucks.
Fuck, I want to be a kid again.
Right?
You have no responsibilities.
It's the best.
You do whatever you want and sometimes get in trouble, but like when you get in trouble as a kid, you're not going to get fucking arrested.
Right.
You gotta be, there's more consequences for getting in trouble as an adult.
That's why I always say like 6 years old is the best age to be, because you're old enough to know that you're doing something wrong, but also old enough to know that you can't really get in that much trouble for it.
Yeah,
like,
so you can kind of
be
just
a fucking
fuck
kid
with people.
And fuck around.
Yeah. And, those little shits suck to deal with as an adult too.
Ugh.
As a kid, you're like, this is the best thing ever. And as an adult, you're like, I fucking hate you.
Get off my fucking lawn. Oh, God, I hate being old. I'm just waiting for my teeth to start falling out and have to get like fake teeth.
You can just do that right now.
I mean, I don't want it to happen.
You don't have to get fake teeth.
I don't want to have no teeth.
You can give gummers.
I don't.
To me.
Well, that'll do it for this episode. I've got some work to do.
I got some teeth to pull.
Okay, so when did you see your first protest show? Was 2018.
Yep.
Then did you see them again before COVID?
No. So I saw them 2018, and then I've seen them like 6 times in the last like year and a half, 2 years. Because after because I'm trying to think of what the first tour they went on where I saw them after COVID. I'm trying to think of the first time I saw them. It must have been.
It was an Ontario
Thorold, where
run.
I fucked up the clarity lyrics.
No, that was after.
What was before that? The
first run was just like a small Ontario thing that led up to.
I didn't go to
going to Edmonton.
No, I wasn't there.
And in Toronto, of that tour was when Rody lost his voice.
Yeah, I wasn't there. I was in the Arctic at that point.
Yeah, you were not there. So then you came back, and there was another Ontario
the
run.
401 run. Yep. I saw them 3 times. 3 times.
Yeah.
Because I saw them Thorold, and then I saw them in Guelph back-to-back nights.
And then Toronto.
And then, did they play Toronto on that tour? No.
Yeah, no.
And then I saw them in Texas.
Oh,
and then Toronto.
Then on Halloween is for Always.
Yeah, I saw them twice.
You saw them in Texas and Toronto.
Yeah. So that's, I think, 6 times?
Yeah, that's a lot of shows.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Right?
It's worth it.
If
Protest wasn't good, I wouldn't have gone to see them 6 times.
Have you seen anybody else more?
I think I've seen Protest and Counterparts the same amount of times. But Counterparts is the same thing. I've seen them like 6 times in the last year and a half. Yeah. Iron Maiden, I've seen 4 times.
Iron Maiden's your favorite band, right?
No.
of all time.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You love Iron Maiden.
I fucking love Iron Maiden.
More than...
I love Iron Maiden.
You love Iron Maiden more than you love your family.
Yeah, but they're not my favorite band.
Oh, okay.
No. No, I love Iron Maiden. I love Iron Maiden. I love Judas Priest. I love...
Yeah, you love 80s metal.
Yeah, I love Metallica. Old Metallica.
Yeah.
I love...
Black Album and...
Wasp.
Before.
I don't know shit about Wasp.
I don't know anything about Wasp.
Extreme. Accept.
Extreme,
Just trying to think
dude.
of a...
Nuno Betancourt.
Is that his name?
That's the guitar player for Extreme.
What's the singer's name for... No, I'm trying to think of...
Ron Sik... What was his name?
I might be thinking of the singer of Accept.
Because the guy from Extreme then became the singer for Van Halen for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
And that didn't work out so good.
That's a band I'm not a fan of.
Van Halen?
I like some Van Halen songs.
I like old Van Halen. Like original David Lee Roth Van Halen.
Yeah.
And then... What is the... For unlawful carnal knowledge... it's the one that has like Right Now on it.
I hate whatever like the Jump era. I can't stand.
Oh, you don't see?
I can't.
I love that era.
The song Jump specifically.
Jump is great. Panama, great.
I like
Hot
Panama.
for Teacher.
Hot for Teacher.
Great.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you're right. So not that era. Jump, I fucking hate. Like that sound of Van Halen. I hated. I liked more of like when you started adding like the synths and shit and adding like more poppy elements. That's where I was like, okay, boring. I like more of like the... I don't know what the word is for it.
Sammy Hagar era?
Sure. I don't listen to Van Halen enough to fucking...
OU812 era?
To know exactly. But
okay.
I can't stand Jump. I have a deep hatred for that song just as much as I hate Don't Stop Believing by Journey.
Oh.
Those two songs, I can tell you for a fact, those are my two most hated songs of all time. Don't Stop Believing by Journey and Jump by Van Halen. Not because they're bad songs, actually, necessarily. I think Jump is actually a bad song. I'm sorry. It's a bad song. Don't Stop Believing, I used to love that song. But then it became so overplayed that I could no longer stand it.
True.
Jump, I never liked Jump to begin with. I always hated that song.
The best gig in all of rock and roll is the bass player for Van Halen. All you have to do is just play 16th notes.
And just stand there.
And just just stay on 16th notes for like root notes.
You know what's even better gig than that?
What?
Being the bass player for Other Wives.
That's not... You said that band doesn't exist anymore.
Was the best gig.
Because your brother...
straight root notes.
Your brother did it?
No, my brother actually added shit to Other Wives, the sound that made it better than what I could have, because I just played... I was like, I talked to Kane, my guitar player. I'm like, what are you playing? He's like, I'm playing this. I'm like, cool, I'll play the root notes.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while, I'll try and add a little flair. I'm like, that sounds like shit. Let's not do that.
Let's not do that.
And he'll be like, oh, you can play this. And I'm like, I don't know how to play that.
No, I'm not going to play that.
Fucking suck at bass. I joined this band. I didn't even know how to play an instrument.
Right?
So...
That was me, basically. I was a bass player in a band, and I just played roots.
Yeah.
And the way I got into the band...
Yeah.
They were doing auditions, and I showed up, and I could watch the guitar player and see what chords he was playing and go, oh, I could tell what the root notes of that is.
That's exactly how I learned.
I just watched.
Yeah.
I was just watching. I was like, okay, and here's the next. Okay, there's the change.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, you're picking these songs up super fast. I'm like, I'm just watching
mirroring what
you're doing.
Yeah, literally.
That's all
It's
I'm doing
simple.
is I'm not doing anything special here. Like, I know how to play Spin Doctors. So, like, and they were like, you're in. I was like, great. And then we played a lot of shows. And I heard on multiple occasions that bass player doesn't know what he's doing. And that was 100% true. And but I still got to play shows and get paid to play shows and drink a lot of beer and
I never
hang out
drank
with a lot of people.
I never drank while I played.
Oh
ever.
My god.
Ever. I would go to like after parties after, like we had shows like out in London and stuff and like Guelph, like doing Battle of the Bands, and after the show we'd get fucking shit faced, but I refused to play inebriated.
Oh god.
I didn't want to be on stage like feeling dizzy and sick. Like I'm sweating my bag off. I remember we were playing a Battle of the Bands in Guelph, and it was the finals. So it was like 3 days we ended up playing because there's like 3 different rounds. And we ended up going into the finals of it. And my singer had one drink, and he was like, I'm not feeling great. And I'm like, yeah, that's why I don't drink. But apparently the judges, they gave us their cards after, like their scores. and the singer was amazing, and this was amazing. For me, they just have maybe use a sweatband, question mark, because apparently I spent the entire show just doing this. So as a bass player who's not that good, that's the only kind of advice I was ever given is maybe wear a sweatband.
That's amazing.
And I bought a sweatband and never used it.
That's amazing.
It was amazing.
That is
but
amazing.
That's the one thing I miss about playing music is sweating.
Yeah?
That's the only thing I liked about playing music is just sweating.
Just sweating.
I
did play, I think I've talked about this on the podcast before. I did play a show once where I was so drunk that I, in the middle of a song, just took my instrument off, set it down on the stage, stepped off the stage, went into the bathroom, threw up, yep. And then went to sleep on the floor.
Fuck that. No. See, like, I suck sober. So I can't even imagine like how I would play if I was drunk.
Oh, I was a disaster because my problem was like a lot of places we played were like bars, and they would card me coming in, and I would be underage, and I couldn't like order drinks at the club, so I would fill water bottles full of vodka and stick them in my gig bag, and then I would just have them. And then I would just be drinking straight vodka out of a water bottle during the show.
That's fucking gnarly.
And just getting obliterated. And it was not good.
I feel like that would be fun, but like...
It was not.
All you got to do to like never do that again is just set a phone or camera for your dinosaur ass. Like a... What are they called? The fucking camcorders?
Mm-hmm.
What are they?
I have a camcorder.
Like an old school one.
I have one. It's in a thing with the little mini tapes.
Yeah. Just set like one of those in front of the stage and watch yourself drunk. You'll never drink again when you play.
Yeah, true.
I feel like I'm not a good bass player. I can play root notes and I fuck up a lot. Mm-hmm. I can't imagine what it would sound like if I was drunk. It'd be fucking horrendous. Nobody would have a good time except for me.
Oh, I was having a blast.
I did it for the people, not for me, okay?
I was having so much fun. There's a club in Detroit called the IROC. And it's billed as Detroit's only 80s style nightclub. Mm-hmm. It literally has like go-go dancer cages on either side of the stage.
You ever get to play in one of those? In the cage?
I never went in the cage. I was too afraid. But like we would play shows and there would be girls in the crowd flashing us. And I was just like, wait a minute. I get to see this? And this is like...
And I'm getting paid for it.
And standing up here and just going, do. Like, that's all I got to do?
Yeah.
Like, this is the best.
The amount of attention I used to get being in a band and I did nothing for the band. I didn't write any of the music. Like, the singer and guitar player, they wrote most of the music. And the way we kind of finished off music is they show my drummer and I the song. This is what we're going to play. And then my drummer and I would basically say, like, hey, let's do it. Like, let's do this. Let's add this. Let's change this. This should sound this way.
Yeah.
That's kind of like our writing credits. So we never actually physically wrote stuff.
Yeah.
I don't remember where I was going with this. What the fuck were we just talking about? The attention I used to get. And I did nothing. I did nothing. Yeah. As the bass player, nobody gives a shit about the bass player, but they do, which is crazy.
It's great.
No one wants to admit it, but... Everyone,
I know.
As long as you're in the band, people give a shit about you.
So I was on Facebook. I'm not a Facebook guy. I don't like Facebook particularly. But I got Facebook again after not having Facebook for a really long time because I needed it to play a game on my phone or something. Like if you connected to Facebook, you got like a bunch of free credits to play.
You're talking about fucking Candy Crush, aren't you?
No, it's Bingo. Is a bingo game.
My mom used to sign into her coworker's son's Facebook account just to play Candy Crush.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
So I got this thing, and what pops up is a photo that's of our old lead singer. Mm-hmm. It says like 20-year-old me, just a baby, just starting out in the music industry, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, there was a bunch of comments of people like, where was this at? Oh, I think I might have been at that show. Mm-hmm. Da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, I was definitely at that show. And she was like, hey, what's going on? It'd been 20 years since I talked to her. Yeah. And she now runs a school of rock in Florida. And has a band that's like a cover band that does like I guess, weddings and stuff like that.
Those bands are actually really good cover bands.
Right.
My buddy that introduced me to Protest, he's in like a wedding band sort of thing. I fucking love going to see them. They'll do like showcase events and stuff just so people like in the public can see them. That way like people can book them for whatever corporate event or wedding.
Yeah.
I fucking love that shit.
Yeah.
I should be in a cover band.
They're so good.
Want to start a cover band?
Sure.
Protest cover band?
I can't play any protest songs.
Neither can I.
I thought about...
I can fake it.
I asked High Tops. I said, hey, High Tops, do you think I could learn all of the songs on Volition on bass if I practice every day for a year?
No.
And he was like...
Try 10.
We're friends, right? And I was like, yeah. He goes, you're not going to get mad at me. And I said, no. And he goes, no possible chance.
No shot in hell.
No shot.
No.
No way.
I will never get to that level in my life, even if I practice every single day.
Me either.
I
don't have the dexterity.
Nope.
I don't have
I got fucking sausage fingers.
Right? I've got like, my brain just won't process things. He's like, you could learn the riffs, but it's about like putting all of those riffs together over the course of like a 6-minute song. Like,
and it's just the techniques to like that you have to nail to make it sound good as well. Like you can't just hit the notes anyway and make it sound good. Like you have to have proper fingering techniques. Yeah. You got to be smooth with it, you know? Yeah. I'm not very good with my hands.
Fucking all Cam's fault.
I just tonk.
Like, fuck
he's ridiculous.
Fuck RF and Cam.
He's ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
I remember when From the Sky came out, like the first thing I was like, this bass sounds fucking sick.
Right?
It's so good. I'm a bass guy, so like that's
Cam
the first thing I pay attention to, right?
To play.
Which is fucking crazy because he's so good.
Right?
He's Cam. You're not going to see this. I doubt it.
Yeah.
But please fucking play bass more.
Yeah, dude. Stop going on tour with Lady Gaga and play some bass, dude.
Play some bass for Protest the Hero or something. Actually, no, you can't take away Hank.
No.
We love Hank.
Oh, so frustrating.
I hope I get a Hank hug in October.
You should make it a point to. Hank loves giving hugs.
I know he does.
He's the best.
Give him a hug in June. Or May.
Best
when did they play St. Catharines?
May. That was great.
Got a Hank hug in May and a Hank hug back in November.
Yeah. They're the best.
I'm going to get a Hank hug in October.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
We're all done.
We
did an episode of the podcast in
your house.
Here in my house.
Yeah. Now it's time to drive to Philly.
Yeah, you gotta you gotta go to sleep because you have to drive for like 19 hours.
I definitely won't be going to sleep immediately.
You have to.
I could. What time is it now? 12:09.
12. Yeah. 12.
So I'll be on the road in less than 7 hours.
Yeah.
I got 9 hours of driving ahead of me.
Yeah.
And then another 7 hours on the way home.
Yeah.
All for fucking baseball. America's pastime, baby. I did it mostly to come see you.
Oh, that's so sweet. Aww. You get to sign off the episode. Tell the people who you are.
They already know who I am.
And what can they do?
Musky. And you can go go shit yourself.
Eat fucking go shit yourself. Eat fucks and go shit yourself.
I was gonna go grab it, but my ass crack's probably hanging out.
that's why I never want to stand
I'm not standing up.
I'm like, no!
I can feel my shorts sliding down right now.
On Twitch, like I'm like, oh, I better go get this. I'm like, oh fuck. I'm like,
just gotta get a transition.
Fall out. I know.
Gotta get a transition.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. Eat shit and go fuck yourself.
There you go.
Is he she?